Hello, hello, how we doing? So we're working out of this book again today, page 92, The Entertainer. And this lesson coincides to what we just did last week with this lesson and the rhythm. So you want to check that out. One of the problems I've seen many times as a teacher is we get excited to play the songs that we love, which is great. It's a dopamine hit. But if we're not clear on the rhythm. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the music that I'm doing, and you might be following me for a while now. So with The Entertainer, and through this book, it's copyrighted, the Alfred Publishing Beginner Book Level 1, the beginning piano course. It's a long title, but anyway, it's copyrighted, so I can't really show a full copy of the book. So just keep that in mind. Thank you for letting me explain that. All right, so a few things. One, we got a good warm up here. We're going to go ahead and start that up. By the way, this is my middle C, what you're looking at here. And we're going to talk about this for a second. Some new things here is this 8VA means up an octave. And we all know how this sounds, most likely. And in a little bit, I am going to demonstrate it and play it for everybody. And it's kind of like just put myself in the hot seat, but that's all good. I'm going to go for it, and that's that. So some problem areas. Get the left hand down here, work on this phrase in there, and then some of the students have a hard time with this fingering, this adjustment. So first thing we're going to do is just loosen up, and we're going to go ahead and just play the left hand back and forth. A student of mine said, well, Jim, how short do I play the notes? Listen to your sound, just try to decipher a shorter sound. I don't want to get like mathematical here, but sometimes when you play too short, the learner might speed up. By the way, Scott Joplin made it clear, not fast. I don't know why. I guess people think they're a better musician if they play really fast, but that's not the intent for this piece. And I'm going to play it slower so I can actually play it okay, because I'm pseudo sight reading, and for this arrangement anyway. So one of the things with the left hand, if you've noticed, you're just hanging out with the C, going up, staccato. You check that fingering out. Don't cheat, okay? Make sure you try to get that fingering. And then we have that position change. And do you notice how I'm doing that as I'm talking to you? And then down. And if I'm sitting correctly at the piano, I can usually just look and then reach for it. Not a big deal if you look down, but I'm finding a lot of beginner lessons, beginner students want to get it down, so what do? They end up memorizing it because they just feel like it's easier. There is a big task when you're learning how to read music, but if you always rely on memorization, you might hit some other roadblocks. Again, I'm bringing that up because this is a kind of book where we want to learn songs and looking at music. It takes some time, so a quick little reading tip. Play. And notice how I'm looking at the music, and there. So I got that D position because check it out, C. I'm doing the C, F, E, G, and then I just know, see my pinky, touching that raised key to there. And that's just my dog Frankie. He might hang out and do a little bit. So that's one thing you want to be aware of. And I circled this here, but by the way, it also is stated here with the pickup, D to D sharp, and you've been following me. This is like, I don't know, we'll say the 20th lesson or so. So it's really cool because now I can say, if you're not understanding this, you can go back to the playlist. It's a wonderful teacher thing, so I didn't leave anything out. So I'm going to actually start, we'll consider this the problem area, and that's the rhythm. That is what we worked on last lesson. So we got our hand position here, 1. Now, when a student has a hard time with that, it's usually not the notes or the fingering, it's the coordination. This is going, it's short, long, okay, and then this is just anchoring. Good way to think about it is, besides just doing one hand at a time, think about breaking it down so it's like this. Or, one student mentioned to me they can just do, they want to get hands together and then they separate. And they're also just playing the C. They're simplifying it. Once in a while, you'll find ideas that will help you and that will help you grow, and that means you're putting in the time and you're learning about yourself, which is awesome. By the way, if you like what I do, if you like my casual lessons, if you can hit the like button, and I'm Jim, by the way. Welcome to GrassRootsPiano. So What I'm going to show you now is I'm going to go through it and then just touch upon some other things if you want to play this, because this is a great piece you can play for your family and friends. It's a lot of fun. You have that C position, and then you got this. You have the C chord and that inversion they do. But that's pretty much it with the left hand, except the very end. I like to touch upon the left hand stuff. So we got the second measure here, here, there, and boom. All right. Not too hard, but it might surprise you. So, if I didn't make this clear as far as getting that, some other students, there's a lot of ways to learn this. Some other students, when they can't get the hands to sync up, don't worry about having them sync up. Just play and know what lines up with what. And then when it's by itself, that's going ahead and you're sounding out the phrase. And then put a little pulse to it. So I'm trying to imitate what students go through. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. But I bet you this new piano I got, that one of the reasons we're having a hard time because we haven't really worked on that rhythm. So teacher X, Y, and Z would be like 1 and 2 and 3. And then the student says, I don't like counting out loud. The reason we don't, because you're being held accountable with the beat in the rhythm. And so if you're doing 1 and 2 and 3, what's 2? That's also your left hand. Alright, and then I promise on here I'm going to show this part. What's tricky about it is you got your 2 finger and then here 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you got to play a chord and you got to shift down. Alfred does a really good job, like, well, we showed you the 6, so now you just gotta put it together. Only if it was that easy. But they have met the curriculum, so you might want to practice that. Because a lot of students will go, okay, I got a tie, they wait too long, and then they'll, here. See how I'm looking down on that? I don't have the confidence. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And then, of course, 1, 2, well, I'll take 2 for me. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1. Alright, let's play. I touched upon a few things. There's a small little B section, not too hard, but you do have your hand position change up here, where you should be getting comfortable with hand position. Sometimes us teachers can methodize and talk through it, but the real truth is in the music and listening and watching. So I'm up here, because it's 8 VA, and then that bracket ends, so then it goes down an octave. Here I go. Sorry, my bitch is squeaky. All right. Did you hear my little shrug? I'm like, I didn't move the note. And I just kept going. I wanted to bring something up, and I was thinking about it, so I played it. Another thing that learners do is we're doing staccato and long in the right hand. Where is it? Well, a few places. Oh, you're still with me? Good. Sometimes learners will play this section short, and they'll also play this section where it's the long C. So let me demonstrate. I'll play from the D chord right about here. All right, ready, and see what I did there? Because they're thinking short, they want to get the notes. That is what makes piano playing hard, is where we got. You hear the difference? You gotta get into that. That's what real musicians do. I'm not saying, oh, I'm the best of them. No, no, no. It's just accountability, getting the right phrase. It's very simple to kind of just, and then, oh yeah, I can do this. I'm staring at it. No, you should have the confidence too. I'm not against the memorization, but when you get older like me, you need to depend on the paper. You need to depend on different ways to make music. That is super important. I'm not against people who play by ear or just by memory and visual, but if you are buying a book like this, then it would make sense to also learn how to read it. It goes a long way. That's why the sheet music industry is pretty well off, because we want to sell sheet music. That's it for today. If you're still cooking through this book, I'll warn you, Amazing Grace is next, which is great. But I'm warning because we haven't done much triplets. And then boom, here it is, triplets. It's a bit tricky, and then they have little, where is it? I thought I saw something in here. Okay, I'll find it. Yeah. So there's a few little techniques going on. It kind of just creeps up. So it's not a big deal. You've gone over notes and you've gone over the hand positions, but the triplets can really get newer learners. Remember, don't beat yourself up. If you're getting to the bench and you're practicing, that is a huge part of it. And always simplify. That's what we got to do. Keep at it. Simplify. Everyone learns one note at a time. Speaking of which, you all should go and practice or listen to some music. Bye-bye. Take care.